Hello everyone. Today we're going to be discussing the idea of situational ethics. Now, what is situational ethics? Basically what situational ethics says is it's okay for man to act in an immoral way if it is for the betterhood of mankind and society. Now before we get started, I would like to point something out. This concept was really made famous by Joseph Fletcher, who was a brilliant writer, professor at Harvard University. And before we get started, I would like to point out that my ethics professor, who I admire greatly, was a pupil of Fletcher's. So this comes straight from the source. So anyway, let's get started with this. Situational ethics. Okay, now I want to present a scenario to you. Let's say that there's a woman who's pregnant. She's in the hospital. She's getting ready to give birth to a baby. Now, let's say that this woman is a single parent. She already has a few kids. And anyway, she's getting ready to give birth, and they're going through the delivery when something goes horribly wrong. Now, the doctor can either save the child's life or the mother's. So let me ask you, whose life does the doctor save? Just think about it for a second. Now most of you are probably going to say, well, save the mother's life. She's got, other responsibilities and commitments. Now I want to point something out though. Years and years ago, when the government, was really strongly influenced by, not only the Catholic Church, but just the Catholics and church just in general, it was seen as immoral and improper to do this act. Because according to very strict religious beliefs, children are the blessings of God. They are a gift from God. They're perfect, they're natural. So you would save the child. Now I know many of you are saying, we'll save the mother, and Joseph Fletcher is really the one who publicized this idea and who really pushed this idea into our mentality. Now I want you to think about this. If you save that mother's life, she can still raise other children. She's got other offspring to worry about. I'm sure it's totally acceptable. And this was looked down upon many years ago, that you don't do this. You don't do this. And so really what Joseph Fletcher said was that it's okay for a man to act in an immoral way if it's for the betterhood of society and man in general. So let me ask you this, which would be better? Would it be better to have 4 kids in a foster home? Or would it be better to have 3 kids with a single mom? And we assume that this mom is a good mom, supportive and whatnot. Well, I know most of you are going to say, well, of course, go with the mom supporting those children. But why? Why is that? That's because this is kind of mean to say, but it is better for our society and mankind in general to have a parent raising children versus having to put more children in foster homes. I don't have a problem with foster homes. They're totally acceptable, but the limit's really high on it right now, and so on and so forth. But anyway, Joseph Fletcher was also very ridiculed for his idea of this. I want you to think about this. A terrible car accident happens, and you're not doing too well. You're in basically what they say, a vegetable state. You're technically brain dead. You're hooked up to machines. That's the only reason you're alive. Now, your family has the choice of, saving your life, because maybe there's a chance of you coming out, or they can pull the plug and let you move on. Now, Fletcher said that when something terrible like this does happen, that, society and mankind, no matter how bad it is, we have to move on. We can accept the past. We don't dwell on it. Do not dwell on it. We accept it and we embrace it. But we need to move on. And, I know it's very sad to say, but by pulling the plug, that gives your family, friends a chance to move on, to accept reality, to accept the actions that have happened. And that in turn would save society money, because equipment to keeping you alive in that state, very expensive, and it would save work from doctors and whatnot. So this idea is very, very important if you ask me personally, because it's revolutionary to think that it's okay for man to act in an immoral way if it's better for everyone else. So I just want to leave you on this note that I thank you for watching this video, and hopefully you watch some of my other ones, and feel free to post, comment, ask any questions. Thanks again.